morning of spring. The early sun was chasing the mist from the wooded hollows that sheltered the small streams flowing busily down to the river Vézère. Drops of dew sparkled on the new buds that seemed to have appeared overnight on the bare trees. The air smelled somehow different, fresh and hopeful, and enlivened by the tuneful notes of a dozen different bird-songs. Excited by the change in scents and season, even after his early morning walk through the woods, Gigi, the basset hound, thrust his nose at the open window of the small police van that descended the steep and curving lane from his master's home. At the wheel, Bruno was singing a half-remembered song about springtime in Paris and vaguely thinking of the duties of the day that stretched before him, when rounding the last bend he was suddenly forced to brake. For the first time in his memory, the quiet road ahead was blocked with a line of cars and tractors, their engines running and their drivers' heads poking from windows. Some were out of their cars, looking at the road that led to Saint-Denis. Several were talking urgently into cell phones. In the distance a car horn sounded, swiftly joined by others in discordant chorus. As Bruno surveyed the scene, his own phone began to ring. He checked the screen, recognized the name of Pierre, a neighbor who lived farther up the road. He ignored it, assuming Pierre would be calling to complain at being stuck in the jam ahead. There had to be an accident of some sort. Bruno pushed aside the thought that he could have avoided this delay if he'd stayed the night with Pamela, the Englishwoman he'd been seeing since the autumn. She'd called off the arrangement that he would dine with her and stay the night, saying she'd finally secured an early morning appointment with the Maréchal, the travelling farrier who was to reissue her horses. Pamela postponed their meetings too frequently for Bruno's comfort, and he was never quite sure whether she was cooling on their relationship or simply wary of commitment.